Mother's instinct. Two mothers, two sons.
One instinct.
You've heard of basic instinct. Get ready.
This answers the question. What did your mother think?
The sequel, Mother's Instinct.
Coming summer 2002.
Get off the lawn.
Starring Kate Beckinsale as the mother.
Kate Hudson is the stepmother. Stepmother's instinct.
You're in the
Stink instinct.
when you're in the cinema to go and see Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life, you see the trailer for Mother's Instinct. Hey, Mom, catch.
How do you know? It's instinctive.
You've seen the film.
Yeah.
Mother's Instinct, tagline, sometimes it's the only thing you can trust.
Oh.
Sometimes it's the only thing you can trust.
On the generic element of taglines and movie trailers. I saw a trailer when I went to see Monkey Man last night. It was a trailer that began and a very it was an eagle flying through some forest, and it was like, sometimes I have dreams and I see things. And it says sometimes I have visions and I see things, and it's like, dreams, memories, no, not dreams, not memories, things that will be. And I'm like, you're doing Paul Atreides. I know this isn't June, but that's basically what Paul Atreides says. And then it turns out to be a trailer for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, of all things.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was like, but you're just doing, that's Paul Atreides.
Classic sketchy vision of the future that changes because you looked at it. Oh. Like that Nicolas Cage film.
Knowing?
No, it's not Knowing. It's a film where he can see 60 seconds into the future.
Oh.
And then one time he sees like really far into the future, and he's like, here's the thing about the future. Because he goes to Vegas and he plays, because here's the thing about the future. You looked at it, and therefore it changes because you looked at it. I can't remember the name of this film.
Anyway, back to Mother's Instinct.
Mother's Instinct. Written, writer-director Benoit Delhomme. Oh, oui. It's a remake of a 2018 French film based on a novel. We are set in 1960s America. I think probably if you're an actor, the most fun dress up to dress up as, the dresses and the suits.
Beehives.
The beehives, and just like the sort of, as an actor, the traditional gender role is probably very fun. Maybe more if you're a guy.
Wait, what? Because you were like, I gotta wear a nice suit and drive a nice car.
Yeah. You got Alice and Celine, who are best friends and neighbours, played by Jessica Chastain, who's Alice, and Anne Hathaway, who is Celine. They are suburban mothers living next door in a beautifully idyllic homey environment. Two of their sons are very good friends, and the couples are good friends, and they do that very classic 60s Americana thing where they go and have dinner parties at each other's houses, and they hold martinis and smoke cigarettes and dance in each other's arms and collapse and fall and the 60s.
And there was, what a gay time we're having.
Yeah, all of that. And so the two sons are very, very good friends. They do a nice little commute school run together. They alternate days. The mothers are very supportive of each other. You got that classic thing where Alice, Jessica Chastain's character, is talking to her husband, and she's thinking about maybe going back to work, but it's the 1960s. Why do you need to work, honey? I just got promoted to a senior accountant. Maybe they want to have more children, but maybe they don't. It's not the right time. One day when Alice is trimming her rose bushes in her garden. Oh, sorry, I should say the two boys are very good friends, and they have this hole in the fence that they've sort of hollowed out, where they basically playfully crawl between the two gardens and play for each other. And the mothers notice that there's this sort of secret garden door that they've got, which is nice. And so one day, Alice is trimming her rose bushes, and she sees the sight of Celine's balcony, where her son is balancing on the beam of the balcony trying to tweak a birdhouse. She sees this, is immediately shocked, calls out but doesn't hear him, runs round, bangs on the door, tries to get into the house, but Celine is hoovering, she doesn't hear, runs upstairs to go and catch the boy, but by which time, the horrible tragedy has occurred and the son loses his life. The son of Anne Hathaway's character, Celine.
So Anne Hathaway's son dies at Jessica Chastain's house.
No. Jessica Chastain is in her garden
Yeah.
and sees the neighbouring house.
Sorry.
Yeah, so she runs round to the other house.
Oh, sorry. So Jessica Chastain was trimming the rose bushes.
Yes.
Anne Hathaway's doing the hoovering.
Yes.
I think you might have said that the other way
Did
around.
I say that the other way around?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Anne Hathaway's son dies.
Okay.
I'm trying to be
Hathaway's
sensitive
house.
by being like an awful tragedy
Okay,
takes place. No, son
that is sad.
falls and dies. That's what you want. And after the death, there is a real shift in their relationship. After being very good friends, there's this. Obviously, Celine is in complete shock and is completely changed by the entire thing. And there's this horrible sense that Alice feels an enormous amount of guilt, and she feels like, oh my God, did I not do the right thing? Should I have called out? Should I have acted differently? Should I have not gone upstairs? Should I have just tried to all of these horrible questions of should have, would have, could have done? And there's this horrible sense that Celine maybe blames Alice for the death of her son. She starts to act very strange and starts to, because the families are very close, but now Celine is spending more time with Theo, Jessica Chastain's son, so Alice's son, and she becomes almost like a proxy mother. And at first they're very welcoming to it because she's got this now empty house with no child, all the toys are still there, and every time she sees Theo, it reminds her of the loss of her son and what's missing. And there starts to become this increasing uneasy energy between them. And there's this whole idea of a mother's instinct that something is wrong. There's even a moment when, Alice is doing something in her garden again, and her son is playing at Celine's house, and she sees her son on the same balcony that Theo was at, and she immediately freaks out. She actually crawls through to get to their farm. She crawls under that little pathway and runs and screams like, why would you let my son play in that area? And she gets this idea that actually Celine did that on purpose to see how quickly she would react if her own son was up there, and whether or not she reacted fast enough. And there's all these very sort of knotty and complex moments in there. And so the whole film is sort of manic paranoia thriller in a way, where you're thinking, is all of this a whipped up hysteria and paranoia, or is there really something nasty at play between these two women? You got good performances from Jessica Chastain and Anne Hathaway. It's very tense and juicy. There are lots of moments, if you really indulge yourself in this film, where you go, ooh, juicy. You know when you hear some really good gossip and you're like, oh yeah.
Domestic juice.
Good old theory. Is that what you think? Ooh, yeah. Like, I was sort of leaning into it going, ooh, yeah. So it's so overdramatic. Like really hammed up. I think Act 2, so after the incident of Act 1 happens, Act 2 is immediately operating at this incredibly dramatic frequency, and you're a little bit taken aback by it because the delivery is very breathless. Do you really think I'm capable of doing such a thing? Do you realize this? I'm telling you, there's something wrong.
Breathe,
blah, blah,
Anne,
blah.
breathe.
It's all just very breathy. But very good.
Does that work?
So, because it operates at such a high dramatic frequency, the moments where it really needs to deliver the drama are totally ready because the film is already there. But I'd be lying if I said there weren't a couple of moments where I giggled out loud because of how dramatic it was, and we just went from 0 to 12 in a second. But I was pleasantly surprised by this film. I really was. I thought it was intriguing and interesting. I thought the ending was great and really to my taste. And I really thought, it's an unforgettable ending, and it's not a sleepy film that just would come and go. I thought I would see this film and probably not think on it again. But I thought the ending was impactful and haunting. There's a wonderful, real sense of darkness constantly in the film's subtext and its undertone that I think keeps you going. If it wasn't as dark and the implication of behavior wasn't as just slightly uneasy, I think this film would fall by the wayside. But I finished the film and I was like, yes, you went for it. Great ending. Not at all what I thought it was going to be. Impactful, not forgettable. I'm pleasantly surprised by it, but wildly overdramatic.
Okay, I see. So if you're there if you like a bit of melodrama, and you want to watch someone with, I assume at some point mascara running down while they hold a cigarette, going,
lots of shaky, stressed. I can't believe this is happening to me. And takes of the cigarette,
spilling a martini. Yeah. My God.
Yeah.
You don't love me anymore. You never did. Yeah, all
but
that
good.
stuff.
I'm sure like the script and the direction all lends itself to this, oh my God, it's just this. But it delivers. It delivers, and I think it works. Pleasantly surprised.
So from the trailer, one of the husbands, I believe, is played by the guy from Worst Person in the World. Is it that right? Is he the Norwegian actor who plays her boyfriend in that?
I totally didn't clock that, but yes, it is.
And who's the other actor?
The other actor is, I can't remember his name, but you will. Hold on. Really great. I think there's only about 5-6 actors in it, if you count the kid. Cast. It is Josh Charles.
Josh Charles.
That guy. He plays the other husband.
Oh, yeah, from The Good Wife, yeah.
Yeah. All great, good performances. Like they're up there.
Yeah.
They're really going for it. But you know, I like Jessica Chastain. I like Anne Hathaway. Great.
Have you seen Mother's Instinct? If you have, let us know your thoughts at hello@pulpkitchenpodcast.com. We'd love to have you email in to get to know that and to get to know your thoughts and to know you.
Yeah. You can really see there's like a fork in the road at the end of a film. And I was like, there was two ways to do this. And I really thought like, well, it's this kind of film you'll get. And it's like, no.
They went for the road less traveled.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. The road more haunting. The road more things that make you go.
Things that make you
And then when you look back and you're like, it was juicy. It was and then that ending I think frames the rest of it as a more complete and successful film in my eyes.
Runtime?
Hour 45.
Smashing.
Yeah,
Good. That sounds exactly what it needs to be.
Well, it didn't need to be any longer.
I look forward to catching that at some point. That was Mother's Instinct.
Is there any other?
Is there any other kind? What else?
Mother's Instinct.
You've seen Jennifer Lawrence in Mother. Now see Jessica Chastain in Mother's Instinct.
Do you have a mother? Did you ever wonder what her instinct was? Fall 2002.
2 boys, 2 houses,
A
2
rosebush.
mothers.
Critics are saying.
Also, you just saying Anna Hathaway was trimming her rose bushes in the garden just sounds like the setup to a really dirty joke. I'm like, what?
Right, you like this one, right? Anne Hathaway.
And then the vicar came round and she was trimming her rose bushes.
Yeah.
Brilliant.